Okay, so today we're going to be reviewing ADP RUN. This is a very popular platform. I believe ADP pays 1 in 6 Americans. So, a lot to look at here. We're going to look at if you're a company between 1 and 49 employees. You're in the small group, you just started your group, you got to look at ADP RUN. So, how do we figure out what to use on ADP? First thing we want to do is we're on ADP's website. We want to go to payroll overview, you see, and 1 to 49. Now, why 1 to 49? Well, this is just simply how ADP breaks down their packages. You have 1 to 49, 50 to 1,000, and then 1,000 plus is their enterprise level. So this is called their midsize or major market services. So that's for companies that are either scaling and need more complex items such as, benefits, 401ks, all these different systems to manage hundreds and hundreds of thousands of employees or international needs. So we're going to just focus on the small business payroll for the time being, and we're going to look at the packages. So if you click on the packages here, you're going to see they want to know if you're 50 plus, 9. Main reason being is they want to see how do we segment you into the right products. So even when you look at Run, you have 4 different packages: Essential Payroll, Enhanced Payroll, Complete Payroll, and HR Plus, and then the HR Pro. Right? So how do you figure out which one's right for you? Well, if we look at all the features here, first thing we want to do is look at, well, what's in common with all of these. So you're going to get payroll processing, which is like online. You can do it on the phone. You can do it mobilely. If you're in need of service, they got 24/7 customer service. That typically means you've got like the chat, you've got support in one way or the other. You can email them. Typically, you'll get a response back a few hours. And the other thing is tax filing and compliance, right? For payroll, as far as whatever it is you put in, they're going to help you with that. You see there's like direct deposit, robust reporting, electronic reports, all that. The employees will also have access to a portal and an app. The ADP app is actually, it's one of the best apps out there. They constantly update it. They do have a tech innovation lab that is always testing to see how can we make this application better for employees and create more self-service. So the idea is to make it to where nobody's bothering you about payroll items, and they can get all the answers that they need straight from ADP, which is a plus. And I think you get that on any of these platforms, even starting with the essentials. Now, for the essential, you'll notice here, if we look at all these features and benefits that they've got, right? Let's go ahead and hide that. If we look at all these features and benefits they got, there is a difference between all these. All right. Okay, let's go down a little bit more. You see it pretty much stops around here. The essential package really is just solving for simplified basic payroll processing. The reason why this happens is a lot of people who are doing payroll, maybe you're cutting a check, you're grossing it up at the end of the year. The payroll package is going to allow you to say who to pay, how much to pay them, and handle the direct deposit. This multi-jurisdiction payroll, that just means if you're in multiple states, multiple areas, they'll help you with the payroll processing. They'll make sure that it goes to the right state. The tax filings will get done. So if you're in California, you get the EDD, IRS, 941s, W-2s can get processed. All that will be done. You can also run 1099s through this, which is great. Now, the general ledger interface, this is something they include in their basic package. Not every payroll company does, but ADP does. This is something you can usually route directly to your either QuickBooks Online account or whatever accounting software you're using. ADP also has a great relationship with the CPA community, and a lot of people in that community do know how to run it. And some of our clients that are, under 20, under 30, don't quite have a payroll department established yet. They have the essentials package, and their CPA runs everything for them. Now, when we go into the essentials platform, now we've got all of our basic needs met. When we get to enhanced payroll, this package here, you're going to start to see there's a few more things. Check signing security. I mean, really, that's just allowing you to enhance the security levels of your checks. So if you do write live checks and you send them out to your employees as an employer, ADP will go ahead and make sure that those checks are secure. So somebody can't go out there and just constantly cash same payroll checks for you. The SUI, the State Unemployment Insurance Management, I think this is worth its weight in gold, especially if you're in multiple states, especially if you're working remotely. Why? Well, the State Unemployment Management, what that's going to do is allow you as a business owner or as a company to not only be a company that gets the unemployment claims, but ADP will also get those claims sent to an address for them and they can respond quickly. Now, because they do this day in and day out, I think this is a highly valuable service. And if you're running payroll and you have more than 4 or 5 people, I think it really does make sense to look at this. Now, job costing may not be important for every company. There's not a ton of companies that do this, but if let's just say you're a contractor and you've got different job sites, right? Company A works at job site 1, job site 2, and job site 3. You may want to say, well, hey, Jim works at job site 1 for 10 hours, and he's our roofer. And he also went to job site 2 for 20 hours this week. We want to know how we're going to bill the payroll for those different job sites because we might back that into our pricing, right? So that's super important. IT companies can use this type of thing too. And if you have government contracts or anything like that where you're having to show prevailing wages or you're having to show where people are working at what time, how many hours, and at what rate, this is definitely a good must-have feature. The labor law posters, look, you do have to get that up in place. I've seen plenty of times where clients have been fined for ticky-tack things like OSHA posters or even something simple as like just their state wage posters. This is, not a huge deal, but it is something that you do need to pay attention to, and it's one less thing to think about. So, that's something you want to look at there. The other thing is there is these HR products that do come with each package as well. So you can see here you have ADP employee access, right? New hire onboarding, employee discounts, background checks. These are things that you can use inside of ADP's packages, right? So if you go to the enhanced payroll, you actually get ZipRecruiter you can install in there. Now you want to look at, especially when they have these partnerships, you want to look at these because it's not always that, it's 100% paid for. There's little caveats, right? So here they say, hey, you can post over to 100 different websites on ZipRecruiter, find your quality candidate within a day, right? That's pretty cool. So the enhanced package pretty much stops there. Now we're getting into the complete payroll and HR Plus. With that one, you're integrating payroll with the HR tasks like new hire self onboarding, employee discount programs, and you're also trying to streamline a few more different things aside just the payroll. You're also looking at how do we start building our HR department. So you can see all these different pieces, same. You got your basic payroll needs met, right? Now all of a sudden you're starting to see, okay, well, so the HR products, this is where it starts to make sense. You have an HR help desk. This is really helpful if you're like, hey, I want to give an employee a raise. How do I do that? What's the right way to track the paperwork? What document should I use? You want to start looking at building an employee handbook, creating salary benchmarks. This becomes an essential piece of what you got to do because a lot of people look at, I'm paying my developer $150,000. Well, if you're from New York and you're paying somebody $150,000 and you've hired them in that market, now you want to go to San Francisco versus Kentucky, those are two different job markets. So you'll want to do a benchmark and see which one makes the most sense. HR tracking, peel that open, right? You want to look at how do you track your employees' information? What property do they have? Do they have a cell phone? Do they have a laptop? How do we code that in the system so that when we let them go, we know what to collect? We're not missing any information. HR form and documents, they start giving you access to all the different forms you're going to need access to. So like if you want to create a safety plan, if you want to create a company dress code. You want to create all these things that may go into your actual handbook and be an extension of that. This is where you're going to start to get some more help. HR training and toolkits. Again, this HR Complete Plus. You really want to think about this as it really solves for the fragmented HR and payroll systems that lead to the inefficiencies of an HR department. So what that means is this is more the platform. They're not necessarily going to this isn't necessarily a service where they're going to do this for you. This is a do-it-yourself program, but they give you all the things that you need. So if you've done HR before, or you're very good at self-service models, this might be the best thing for you, right? And you're going to start to see too, right? Here's where the difference becomes between the complete package and the HR Pro. HR Pro starts to create a comprehensive solution. So it's more advanced HR tools like learning management systems, the HR help desk, the applicant tracking system, the enhanced employee handbook support, meaning that they're going to help you. You can talk to somebody, you can get advice with actually speaking to somebody on how this applies to your specific situation. And the cool thing about it is you're not switching payroll platforms. This is all on ADP RUN. So if you graduate into these different packages or these different products, you can do it that way. Or if you just want to start off and have exactly what you need, this is the way to do that. You can just go ahead and sift through these different package options. Now, I will say that if you want to have these different products, they typically do offer them a la carte. If you find you need one more than the other, but one thing about their pricing model, and you'll want to talk to a rep, or if you did want to work with one of our reps that we have assigned to our firm, we're happy to make an introduction there. But typically, our reps will make it make sense for our clients to get the packages that they need so they can build into their HR and not have to constantly think about what connects to what or what's not working or what things do they need to worry about having. So, the other thing is they do give you marketing and consulting services as well. This is something that I haven't really seen anywhere else. So they'll help you out with Google Ads and management, marketing tools. They'll give you live advice, legal assistance. All right. So if you do have questions, this is like a great option. Hey, I've just fired somebody, or I just got a notice in the mail saying, hey, this employee is filing a wage claim against us. What do we do? This is where they can start to assist you. Now, again, these services that are offered through their partnerships, like with Legal Club, for example, they do have caveats, and you will have to ask your rep to provide you, hey, what information do I need to know on what ADP handles and what Legal Club handles? And is there any additional fees that I need to have aside from just access to these items? All right. So now we get into the things you can add on. Again, when they say these add-ons, these are things you can couple with these different packages. They're not included in these packages at all. These have separate pricing. So if you do want 401k, you want retirement, you want workers' comp or health insurance, these are the items that you do want to add on. Now, for our clients, what we like to typically set up for them is the retirement, the workers' comp, and the health insurance if they want to run it through ADP, because we can have the employees managed through their ADP RUN platform. And once you're doing the payroll up here, all this payroll data and information can then speak to these different benefits and start to tell you who's like, hey, we just let go of somebody. Great. Well, that's going to help us update it in the system. Make sure that they're actually getting their health insurance COBRA paperwork, all that. So in conclusion, really, when you're looking at these different products, these different packages, ideally, you're somewhere in between the complete payroll and HR Plus and the HR Pro. We typically recommend that as soon as you have needs beyond just payroll alone, if it's affordable for you, I would skip the essentials packages and at least go for the enhanced payroll. Why? Well, again, it mostly has to do with that state unemployment insurance management piece. That is super important. Missing that or having it go to the wrong mailing address within your company, or if you moved and somebody forgot to update it in the system, then that can get a little bit messy, especially when you're on the open market. and you're not on their PEO, they don't take liability for it. They only take liability for what you report. So having ADP get that information from the state routed to them is super helpful in your process of just managing any leaks in liability when it comes to payroll. And also this job costing piece is very important, especially if you have the type of company where you're either trying to track profitability per job, it's part of your billing process, or if you need to provide reports based off of hours worked at different rates. This is super important. So again, we recommend you start off with the enhanced, and there's a reason why it's the most popular. And we also think that looking at the complete package does make sense. However, I always say with your reps, when you work with them, we usually ask them to start here at the HR pro level, explain it specifically to the client's needs, and walk you back to what you actually need. So you guys are making sure you're making the most of your budget and actually using all the products here. Because again, this product is not going to jump out and do work for you. You have to put in the work, and it gives you all the tools that you need if you have someone to set up the handbook, use the services, and make it happen. So if you have any other questions on ADP Run, or you'd like us to go ahead and do a review for you on how we can integrate your benefits or workers' comp into ADP system, just feel free to reach out, and happy to do an employee benefit strategy session with you and loop in any payroll partners that make sense. So if you need any help, let us know.